Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Now, as you see on the screen, it says ex-NFL running back Zac Stacy says Christian Evans cheated and robbed him of $500,000. That is why he threw her into the TV and body slammed her. All right, so if you haven't been aware, or if you haven't seen this video or heard this headline where this former running back, Salakia, this former running back basically put his hands on his wife in front of their child, right? And in the video you see him swing on his wife, you see him throw her into the TV. Now, people's initial reaction, because they didn't see both sides of the story, is basically, oh, put this guy under the jail, he deserves to be put to death, so on and so forth. Right? But again, that's unrighteous without hearing both sides of the argument and coming to a righteous judgment. Now, if what this headline says is true, again, I don't know what happened or what caused it, whatever. I don't know. But if this headline is true, I'm not saying it is. If this headline is true that says his wife, Christian Evans, robbed Zac Stacy of $500,000 and cheated on him, then in the eyes of the law of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, what he did wasn't entirely incorrect. Now, I'm not speaking of the $500,000. I'm only talking about the cheating part, if it's true. Now, let me jump over to Leviticus chapter 20. Leviticus 20:10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Alright? So, committing adultery is when you lay with a woman that has a man, that has a husband. Men can't commit adultery because we're allowed to have multiple wives, multiple concubines. What we're not allowed to do is lay with another woman that belongs to another man. That's committing adultery. That's how men commit adultery. How women commit adultery is her having a man and sleeping with another man. Now, when adultery is committed, both parties are put to death. All right. Now, in the instance of Zac Stacy, the running back, if the accusation is true, what he did wasn't right according to the way the law operates. So basically, he would need two witnesses, basically two confessions, and Salaki, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, he would need two or three witnesses. And Salakia, he would need two witnesses. Scripture does say, by let everything be established by two or three witnesses. So he would need two or three witnesses. And by him doing it like this, without putting the other man to death or the woman, he is guilty, right? He is guilty of that. Because the scriptures say the adulterer and the adulteress shall be put to death, not just the woman. All right, that's if she committed adultery. Now, if she stole the money, she's supposed to either pay that back or go into captivity. Pay that back being sevenfold or go into captivity. All right. Let me jump over to Proverbs chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 29. So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touched her shall not be innocent. All right. Again, we only see the woman getting the judgment, but the man is supposed to get the judgment too. All right. Especially if he knew that she belonged to another man. And 9 times out of 10, men do know if a woman has a man, even if she says it or not, because of the way she acts and the way she moves in the streets, right? If she says, "Don't call me during these hours," or if she says, "Don't send me no text," or if she saves your number in her phone as a different name, right? If she calls you things like work husband, you know she has a man, all right? Just to by the way she moves and acts and operates. So you know, through the spirit, you know she has a man or not. But women are sneaky. So they could lie, right? They even if they do lie, they do lie, and they do it to a T, man. But through the spirit, nothing gets past men of the Lord. Lord willing, we're part of that number. Proverbs 6:29 again. So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever touched her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he's hungry. All right, so if you see somebody stealing a piece of bread or a loaf of bread, you're not gonna hate that man for stealing a loaf of bread. But if you see somebody stealing a fucking TV, then you're gonna be like, okay, what's the reason for that, man? That's wild. If you steal a piece of bread to satisfy hunger, that's understandable, all right? And this woman allegedly stole $500,000. Proverbs 6:31. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. And if you can't afford to pay that off, you have to go and become a bondsman or bondswoman until you pay off that debt. Verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. That's right. That's plain and simple, man. Because if you don't understand the judgment that happens from committing adultery, you lack understanding. If you don't understand, you lack understanding. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. If this woman committed adultery, then the Lord put the spirit on the man to go crazy, right? And this chapter says the men to go crazy over that, man. Verse 33. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. All right? The reproach of a homewrecker never goes away, man. Verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Now again, if the accusation is true that she cheated on her husband, she committed adultery on her husband, what happened, what you seen, the video that went viral was a jealous man's rage. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. And that's what happened. That's if what they say is true. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. Right? You could beg and plead to another man after you slept with his wife. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, blah, 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 y'all, whatever. It was a one-time thing. It was a mistake. I deeply regret it. Here, take this, take that. I'll do whatever you want. He's not going to care because at the end of the day, his wife was defiled. I shouldn't even say defiled. It is defiled because Jeremiah 3 goes into that her land will be sore polluted. But so I can't say defiled because it was her choice at the end of the day. Now, if she was raped, that's a different story. If she was raped and she cried out, then the man has to be put to death. If she has a husband, all right. But when you see this, don't rush to judgment, because this is what the media does. This is what social media does. This is what mainstream media does. They throw videos or stories like this out there, especially mainstream media. They throw stories and videos like this out there without both sides of the stories to rile people up, to rile people up and to get them to get their mind focused on this instead of what's going on around them. All right, and what happened last week? Everybody was talking about Travis Scott. Now this week is this, right? Your mind got all off of that Travis Scott satanic ritual, sacrifice concert. That your mind was so into that when you started asking questions, they give you another story to get your mind off of that, man. And this is what it works. This is witchcraft, man. At the end of the day, when media moves like this, when you see when you see stories go viral one week, the next week, that's witchcraft because it controls your mind. It controls how you think, controls your thoughts, controls your emotions, man. All right, and what do? You think with emotion instead of looking at the facts. Well, what did she do to make him act like this? Nobody wants to say that. Everybody sees the video and jumps with emotion. Nobody uses logic when media does things like this because it's witchcraft, man. All right. At the end of the day, what happens between a man and a woman is none of our business. Actually, let me get that. I think I brought that on in a previous lesson, but let me get it again, man. What happens between a man and a woman is none of our business. Proverbs chapter 30 and 18. There be three things which are too wonderful for me, yea, four which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. All right, the way a man is with a woman is too wonderful, man. I don't know it, man. I don't want to know it, man. What a man does with his woman is none of my business, none of my concern, man. I don't care, right? So when you throw videos out there of what happens between a man and his wife in his home, it's none of my business. You're throwing that out there to rile people up, and not to confuse them, but to harvest their energy, man. That's basically what it is, man. All right, but at the end of the day, we all know that since this woman looks like a so-called white girl, she could be an Edomite, she could not be. I don't know. I never heard her talk. I never seen her before, whatever. But from the video I seen, if since the woman looks like a so-called white girl, this nigga's going under the jail, man. You are not gonna get away with doing that to a so-called white woman in Babylon on video, especially if they say things like, "Oh, former NFL player." They say that to make Jake seem stronger than he is. Because once you say somebody plays in the NFL, you automatically think, "Oh, this man is a fucking He-Man," right? Because when you the NFL is the modern day gladiators, man. Because these are men of war, right? So when you see him toss around this so-called white woman around, you're gonna say to yourself, "Oh my gosh!" You're gonna be appalled, right? That's if you're not grounded, man. If you're not spiritually grounded, you're gonna be appalled. Like, "Oh my God! Oh, how terrible of him!" But it's none of our business, right? It truly is none of our business. Not only is it none of our business, we don't know what happened or what she did, right? So, of course, in Babylon system, this unrighteous system, he's gonna do some serious time for that. More than likely. More than likely. Even if the woman decides not to press charges, I believe the state could file charges in domestic abuse cases. But I could be mistaken. And this is what people don't understand in this situation. Again, what if? All right, let's say this headline wasn't true. What if she did cheat? Right? Never mind the $500,000. You know what? Let me not get into what ifs. You know what? Salakia. I'm only gonna deal with truth. All right. Let me get one more. I'm gonna wrap it up. This is Sirach chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Now we know through the curses, our most of our women aren't gonna be a pillar of rest to us. But they will be in the kingdom. But right now in the flesh, it's a constant war, right, between a man and his woman. But again, we understand that we're in captivity, so we stay in order in our damn selves, man. So at 36 and 24, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. If it's the man's wife, it's his possession at the end of the day. But I'm going to wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.